Hey guys, it is Duke, and welcome back to the episode of Duke's Concrete World Let's Build. Of course, how you guys doing today? I hope you're doing fantastic. I know I am, and I'm glad to be back for another episode. So, in our last episode, we went ahead and we did a little bit of landscaping, and that was turning this area where you can see right here where all the green concrete is on into actual concrete. It was just grass. We changed that on over, and I asked you guys, do you want shaders or not? Because we're using shaders right now, obviously, but in the last episode, that was the first episode we'd actually decided to do anything related to shaders, and we got some pretty positive response. So we're going to be keeping them on for the series, and I hope you guys are all on board with that. It just makes everything look so much better. I mean, I keep coming back, guys. These mountains, oh, they're phenomenal. I almost want to change that peak right there. Give it a little bit of the white concrete, make it look like a snow-capped peak, and I think that would look phenomenal. But we're going to be working on over here today, something we really haven't worked near, and that is, first of all, we have what I did off camera, not really anything. And you guys probably like, okay, there is nothing. And you're right. I went ahead and outlined this ravine with some gray concrete, which I think, first of all, actually looks kind of cool, believe it or not. But it does sort of allow us to know, okay, this is plans for something in the future. We will do something here, and I'm excited to do something here. But I don't know quite yet what we want to do. So we'll get back to it. But for now, we're going to be working on over here. And as you can see, I have some concrete blocks laid out in a circular pattern. And I want to create a little town here. I think it would be kind of cool. Just a quaint little town, a little walled-in city. Maybe it's one of the starting cities when you play this map. Maybe it's, a city that has its own purpose, but it's nowhere near the biggest, realm or hold, in the entire world that you can venture to. But it'll be somewhere that you gotta stop in for a couple quests or something of importance. And I think that could be really cool. Obviously, I think there's a lot we could be doing with this spot, so I want to take full advantage of making sure we can come up with something really cool to use about it, because I feel like it's very easy to just sort of make a city, but finding a reason for the city to come to life and bring a little bit of story into it, that's a whole nother challenge. But in the end, I think it's for the best, and I think if we do that correctly, and we have something really cool that you want to come to the city for, it's just like, oh, well, yeah, I want to come to the city because it has this, and it means this, and it affects the story in this way, and it's all part of the game, having fun, and yeah, I think that could be a cool idea. Hope you guys agree with me on that. I'm just sort of roughly placing down some blocks where I think will be best. They're free to change, and they may get changed. I'm not a huge fan of this straight path right here, so I'll probably add a little bit of, shape and curve to it, because holy crap, that is a flat wall, and that is not something I really want, especially on a diagonal. I can deal with a flat wall in other spots, but, diagonals are difficult to work with, so we may stray away from that. Obviously, this is not the final wall design. I just want to get a wall up, because I feel if we get a wall up, we can sort of work through it. We can sort of start imagining things. We can see how much room we actually have. Maybe I could go on ahead and, set up a little bit of some plans so I know exactly where I want things and how big to make things, because I don't want to overdo it, first of all. I don't want to go out and make something way too large and then I have no room for homes or something like that, because this being our first village, we're going to try to include as much interesting stuff as we possibly can, and I will do whatever it takes to make sure this city is awesome. I guess that's the best way to put it. I want this city to be awesome. I want all the cities to be somewhere that you guys enjoy coming when you do download the map in the future. Please. But anyways, I'm going to continue with this. I'm going to plan something out, and I will be back with you guys. Oh yeah, alright guys, so we've been making some changes, we've been doing some work, and I think we're in a good situation, and I think I like all the changes I've made thus far, and I hope to continue making better changes. So, here's what we've done. We went ahead and built up that wall quite a bit. It was that inner ring there, but I realized, okay, yeah, one thick wall, that's not going to work. So we made it 3 thick by adding another ring that goes around. And obviously the floor in here is not concrete yet. It will be though, no worries. This is a concrete world. I plan on it. But it's good for visualization. So we can see exactly how big the walls are going to be and how we can work that out. So we're getting a lot of cool ideas. And I say that because I can picture myself actually, building in here. We already have it all blocked off, so, this is our limits. And I think we can shove some stuff in here that'll be really cool. And I'm looking forward to it. Another reason, or another thing rather, is the wall is very tall on sides like this. But then you get over here, we got quite the elevation change. It gets down to only a couple. So, obviously, I'm going to tip this off. I think what I want to do is either run the black concrete around the top all the way across like this, just to flatten it out so we can get another level to work with. If you guys know what I mean. So we can, it's like we're at ground level again. And then we can start working in design rather than just structure. So either the black, or we could continue with the light gray. I don't know which one looks better. Perhaps the light gray does, and we could run the black along the bottom. I think that could actually be something. I actually just thought of that. As we were placing these down. So that's actually, it's really cool that I was able to figure that out on camera here with you guys, because I do a lot of my thinking for builds and a lot of my reasoning for builds off camera, just because it's easier for me to sit there and sort of ponder about, what's actually going to look the best. What can I do to make sure that my build is as presentable as possible to the general public and all my viewers and anyone new who's stopping in, because I understand, hey, this could be somebody's first time ever witnessing my channel. I should go ahead and do the very best job I can to make sure, it's a warm and inviting place full of great builds and great episodes, and I hope to be completing that. If I haven't already, then hopefully we can continue to work towards, achieving that. So, yeah, just a little talk there, just for, talking about channel builds and whatnot. So, I'm going to continue, go ahead with that around the entirety of it. I think I like that. We're going to find another places for a few more towers here. This is going to be the front gate, if you guys cannot tell. We got spiders in here? Oh, no, they're in here. There they are. Hi. I should probably light that up. So, redstone torch is perfect. We don't have to worry about these guys. Glowstone. Get in there. All right. Ooh, that glowstone looks good. I love the glow. Not orange concrete, green concrete. The orange concrete, though, is roads and a bridge. And I totally just got distracted now thinking about this, but I do want to talk about this. And we're going to have a road that leads on over to a little house over here in the cherry blossom area. We're going to have a bridge. I did not know how I wanted to do this at first. It actually took me a couple minutes of pondering, whether I wanted it to be over there, whether I did not want a connection, and I settled on this. I think this makes, a little bit of sense, and it's the most convenient because it's so close right here. The river's so, thin and narrow. So we're going to have it branch off And this will actually be a very, very important part of the road, I think, because if we have a lot going this way, and this, might lead only to that, but it might branch off. Oh, geez. We were getting nearly 20 frames there for a second. I don't know what happened. But anyways, we're going to have that branch off maybe to a building or two over there, but then we're also going to have this, spur off at some point and head that way into another little city. And this, this may be a very important, well used, overused, maybe a little bit, part of the, the kingdom, the giant world that we're creating here. So, this bridge is going to be important, and, if this is what takes people from all around into, their Stonehenge sort thing right here, I don't know, then that'll be that. And it's a good little way on over to this city right here. I think having this city so close to the monks, our religious monks in there who worship the Stonehenge gods or God or whatever we're going with for there. I don't know. We're still sort of trying to figure that out because I want to be able to work a lot of, lore into the builds here. So I want to come up with as many cool things as possible to add in that people are like, "Oh, Duke, that's awesome. What a great addition. You're a genius." That's at least my goal. So hopefully we can achieve that. I will do my best to do so. And that's wrong, isn't it? Yeah. It's only too high. Okay. Too high there. Then we're going to go that. And then once more. Still looks kind of funny for some reason. Maybe what it needs to be is it needs to be 3 here. 2 here. 1. Is it off-centered? No, it's not. No, it's not. We're good. Ha! Ha! Oh, I really thought that was off-centered for a second. That's bad. No, we're going to leave those two. I think that looks like a better curve and a more realistic gate. So, if you guys are looking at this, which I hope you are, I don't know why you wouldn't be. But anyways, it's a very basic, sort of look here, guys. This is, think about it. We're using some of the smoothest looking blocks with the concrete here. But I think, that's all part of the fun, is being able to take this and turn it into something a little bit more detailed eventually. And if we don't accomplish it with detail, allow yourself to perceive something else, maybe look at it in a different way that you normally wouldn't, and take it for more than what it actually is. Maybe a little abstract work here with some of the builds might actually make sense. I hope they do, and I hope you guys continue to enjoy this. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead, work that around, maybe plan a little bit of the inside of the city, and I'll be back. Okay, guys, so there we go. I've done some planning, I've built some more towers, and I think we're ready to talk about it. So, this is going to be cool. I thought of it as we went. First of all, towers are on the outside. Every so often, I didn't really mean for them to be a certain distance apart, but actually they seem to be spaced really well, so that is actually fantastic. And then within the city, I think this might be really cool. Obviously, we might need to move that out a little bit. But what I'm thinking, okay, is we may end up building some of the homes into the wall. Like, the city wall will be the back wall of some homes. So, you guys let me know what you think about that, because I think that could be something that we do. We also have a circular structure. So we have a circular road system. Does that make sense? I feel like that, the flow of transportation makes sense. Obviously, I didn't know what I was doing back here when I added these 3. They don't make any sense. Just get rid of that. Even this one could move. I don't know what I was thinking when I put those down, but I want to keep this little lake, or this little pond, turn it into something a little nice. So a bigger building here could work out for us. But then what I want to do is I want to build up this middle part. And I think this would be really cool if we pull it off correctly. You're going to walk in to this city. And you're going to come on up. So you're already going up on an incline. So you know whatever you're looking up at is already that much more intimidating. You get up here, and we're going to have a little fountain area. I don't know how big I want it, but it'll be a fountain area nevertheless. Should be pretty cool looking, actually. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be about here. And we'll have, like, steep, sheer cliff, basically looking things that lead up. And then on this side, a more gentle slope up to either a little castle, a little keep, maybe something just something tiny, but still something that represents, the main structure, the mayor's house sort of deal. You know that guy or that girl, that woman who lives there, is someone of very much importance. So it'll be really cool, and it'll be a perfect centerpiece, I think. And we're gonna have to get rid of this tree. So I don't know why I put that leaves back. Also, grammar rip. But anyways, guys, I think we're gonna wrap up the episode right here. I am exceptionally tired. I am recording this on 3 hours of sleep. Went to bed at 3, got up at 6, but I had to do. Actually, I didn't have to go to bed at 3, but I did have to wake up early, anyways. So that is why. But I really think there are some cool views of the city, and I really like, the whole idea of the concept of the walls. Obviously, they are very, plain now, but there's a lot of progress that can be made here, and I think we'll be really on to something here in the future. So anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap up this episode right here. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to leave a like, comment down below to like to see next. If you're new to the channel or the series, be sure to subscribe. This has been Duke. I'll see you next time. Man, I really end up talking fast. Have a good day. Bye-bye.